Ladies and gentlemen, game week 14 is almost in the books. I've only got Manchester United versus West Ham to come. We don't know if Bruno Fernandes is going to be showing up. So, for that reason, if he doesn't show up, I've actually got a free hit draft covered later in this video. Make sure you hang around for that because I might actually free hit if he's out or from Bumo's out. I don't know what's going on just to get myself through to game week 16 because I've only got the one free transfer. I've got my top transfer tips for all the players that are being moved in and out of the thing. And if you haven't already noticed, I'm actually come straight from work and our school concert that we put on, and I'm literally doing a video before I go to bed and get up for the live watch along with you lovely folks. Now, if you do enjoy the content, make sure you smash a like on the video. Leave me a comment with how many moves you've actually got to make this week and what you're thinking or with you in regards to your own team. And lastly, if you haven't already, smash the sub button for me. We're on the way to 5K, ladies and gents, and I can't do it without you. And it's exciting times here on the channel. With that being said, let's get into it. So let's have a look at some of the notes I picked up from the live watch along overnight, and there was plenty to sink our teeth into. But let's start off with the biggest elephant in the room. Mo Salah benched for the second straight game. He did come on at half-time, and Cody Gakpo was hooked after 45 minutes. So all those lucky free hitters that got Cody Gakpo's points on the weekend, I mean, if you owned him in your own team, I mean, people said that Sabozar was a good pick. He's got 2 points, literally the last 3 game weeks now that everyone was sitting there saying I was bringing. I was like, it's not a good pick. Virgil van Dijk, yet again, does not keep a clean sheet. He did get the DC here, so I suppose some people will cling on to those extra 2 points that he got. But in reality, he's just an expensive Anderson in sheep's skin. I don't understand the allure of him at all. The aura of Virgil van Dijk is completely gone. His big ass actually helped and aided Sunderland get into the lead. And to be honest, Liverpool are very lucky not to lose that game. Vert's very unlucky not to get a first goal in the Premier League, but it did count as an assist. It went down as a Mukiele own goal. Can you believe that? On to the Nottingham Forest Wolves game. Wolves were they're done. They are done. Igor Jesus scores the goal here. I mean, that was exciting. That was exciting. And Hutchinson actually got the assist. So some all-round stuff there happening for Nottingham Forest. And they did keep the clean sheet, which is, I suppose that's a positive. On to Chelsea and Leeds. Now, this was an absolute mare. This is why Maresca is going to be the single biggest hurdle to Chelsea winning the league. What on earth was he doing with the team selection? The defence was a shambles. It was embarrassing. Losing 3-1 to Leeds has got to be up there. One of the worst results they could have come up with. Palmer obviously did make his return to football in the second half, and he missed a glorious opportunity. But the key news here from this game is that the DCL unit, folks, he's back in form. That's 2 goals in 2 games. And guess who he's got next? The most accommodating defence you could come up against at home, Liverpool. DCL unit, spoiler alert for later, he could be making the one-week punt, can you believe it? Then we're on to Brighton versus Villa. That was an unbelievable game. Villa went 2 goals down. Emery looked absolutely shellackled and shamozzled and basically just was like, what the hell's going on? And then they turn it around. They go in 2-2 at halftime. Then they end up going 4-2 up. Then it's 4-3. Then Brighton are pushing for an equaliser. That game had everything. Fulham versus Man City was the game on Tuesday night. The game of Wednesday night was definitely Brighton versus Aston Villa. Crazy stuff. Welbeck was benched in that game as predicted. Watkins, though, returns to form of a brace. And Van Heck, I mean, it's very unlucky when a defender scores twice and doesn't get any bonus points. But because he conceded 4 goals, that literally eroded any chance of him getting bonus points. But that was interesting there as well. Then on to Arsenal and Brentford. Should we expect anything else here? This is why I benched Thiago in my own team, because of the fact I thought he'd start on the bench. And I didn't think that they would score against Arsenal. And both of those things turned out to be correct. Interestingly enough, Collins was also benched in this game, which I thought was weird. But then I was like, is he on 4 yellow cards and they want him to play on the weekend against Spurs where there's more likelihood that there's a chance of winning? I'm not sure. I don't quite understand that one. Either way, he was benched as well. And then Arsenal, Saka was benched. He came on and scored, so that was very nice for owners. So a bit like what I had from Bruno G on Tuesday night for Newcastle. Then there was mad rotation. Timber came on for the injured Hincapi. No, Mosquera, sorry. Mosquera got injured. And then Rice went off with what looked like a calf injury or something. I'm not sure. Hopefully he's going to be all fine. He's normally a really durable player. But that probably raises the risk of Rice being benched on the weekend. Also, Eze was benched too. So again, there's lots of mad rotation going on. Arsenal's squad of players is all back and fit and available. So I think that's probably what we're going to see. And then, should we have expected anything less from Crystal Palace? All the players played. No one was rotated at all, from what I could work out, from what I saw, and all the defenders hauled. They all got DC. Well, no, they didn't all get DC. Lacroix and Richards got DC. I don't know about Gahey. I think he did as well because he got a 14-pointer. He got DC, the 3 bonus, and the assist for 14 points. And Munoz obviously got the goal and 2 bonus for 14 points as well. If you own triple Palace defence, you are happy days. And I have long thought that if there's one defence I actually want to invest in, it's probably them, because they just seem to know how to somehow steal away the clean sheets. So the Game Week 14 and 15 videos are sponsored by Footium. Now, really exciting news. I've shared it on my X account. If you haven't already, go and follow me on there. But Dimitar Berbatov has come on and is now backing the game, and he's actually going to be in the game. I actually had to look, because he's also going to be in Division 8 like me, whether his team was going to be in my division. And I was going to start giving him some crap talk that, you know, I'm going to beat you, mate. Send me a signed shirt. That'd be nice. But either way, that's really exciting news. So I can't wait to hopefully us both get promoted and us both meet in Division 7. That would be the ideal scenario. But it's literally FIFA Ultimate Team, LA Manager combined into a really good product. Once you play it, it's really quite addictive. You play 1.5 an hour game every single day, and you can go and check it out and register as a caretaker manager. Try the game out entirely for free, but I definitely recommend, because this is what I've done myself, go and buying a club, and if you want to help me out, you can use the barcode there and go and check it out. It's really addictive and really good fun, and it's like playing football, but like, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Go and check it out. It's really good stuff. And I'm excited for the season. Season 14 is the season at South Park. Takes Division 8 by storm, and we get our promotion push. So on to your questions for Game Week 15. Now, is Phil Foden, the D-Unit's boy, now essential? Or is his ownership something he can take on? I'm really annoyed about this, because he's sparked too quickly for my liking. He could have done it slightly in a little bit more incremental orders, like 8 points and then 10 and then 13 and then 15, but he went 15 and 17. Now every man and his dog wants to join the D-Unit that hasn't already joined. I think he's essential. I thought at the start of the season he was essential. Which is why during a lot of the preseason in my team, I had Phil Foden, then he wasn't fit, and then I had to readjust. And as soon as he was fit and he scored the first goal, I brought him in on wildcard into my team. He didn't do anything the first time. I think he'll still find his match rhythm. But my God, has he found his rhythm now, ladies and gents. And I think that his ownership is just going to continue growing. This is going to be like the next Semenyo runaway train. And you got to hop on board. Lots of people probably going to dodge him this weekend because they're going to be waiting for their AFCON transfers because they might not have the money to get up to him. But if you've got the money, it's a no-brainer. The dude is literally playing 90 minutes every single week. He's only been rested in that Champions League game. And I know that they've got Real Madrid in the Champions League, but Man City are chasing Arsenal. They can't afford to be dropping points. And we've seen from Sunderland last night, they are not an easy beat. And if there's one player in Man City's team that I reckon will do really well against Sunderland, it's Phil Foden, because the man, he thrives in that area that Sunderland kind of give up, and I expect him to deliver again. Who's more of a priority sell? Is it Mateta, who continuously keeps on blanking, other than obviously the penalty against Man United, or is it Semenyo? Now Semenyo, I mean, his price is dropping like a rock in a pond. It is sinking at a rapid rates of knots. He's gone from 8.1, he's now down to 7.7. That's 4 price drops already. Thankfully, I sold him before any of them mattered to me. And guess what I bought in? Phil Foden has already risen twice in price. So sometimes it's about reading the game and where it's going and hopefully just getting a little bit of luck. And at the moment, it does look like some of my picks are turning into pretty lucky picks at the moment. Are Liverpool really going to butcher their fixture run? I think the answer is yes. I do not rate them at all. And I did say they were very lucky on Sunday to get a very... what's the word I'm looking for? Like a very accommodating West Ham. That's the word I'm looking for. A very accommodating West Ham that basically offered nothing. Well, they came up against a team and they came up wanting. I mean, if it wasn't for a bit of Wirtz magic, they would have lost that game. And they probably deserved to lose as well. I thought Sunderland was by far the better team. Is this the week to sell your AFCON players a week before you get those transfers? If you've got like 2 or 3 or 4 in the bank, is this a good time to get rid of? Now, I looked at the fixtures, right? And I would argue that for Ndai, yes, you can easily sell him. I know they've got Nottingham Forest, but I think he's an easy sell. Sarr, I mean, you should have sold him already, like I did. I think that makes perfect sense. In terms of Mbumo and Ahmad, unless we find out tonight that one of them is one of the injured players, which potentially it could be, or maybe there's no injured players at all, then I think you hold them. They play Wolves on the weekend, and we've already seen how bad Wolves are. It's a really good fixture for Man United, and I think it'd be silly to sell those ones. But for the other ones, you just got to work out, is the fixture worth keeping them for? If it's not, I'd say sell. What on earth does Amram mean by the 2 doubts? Now, I'm in this weird conundrum, right, where I need Bruno Fernandes to play, either to play and score at minimum 8 points. Now, if he scores over 8 points, I want him to play. Because if he scores over 8 points, it will cover the difference in terms of him not playing, which would be 17 extra points on top of Phil Foden, who's my current vice-captain, and Thiago's 1 point off the bench. So that's 18 points, right? So, actually, he needs 9 points. He needs 9 points to cover it. So Bruno Fernandes needs a 10-pointer in order for me to benefit from him rolling up. I mean, it could be in Mbumo as well. We don't know. Mbumo appeared to hurt his shoulder against Everton, and people reckon he was running gingerly on the weekend. I don't know about that. I'm just not sure. I reckon it's a bunch of mind games. You can never tell with Amarin. But, like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, Luke Shaw would be too obvious. Joshua Zirkzee seems a bit obvious. Considering Cunha's going to be back and available, that's an easy change. And Mount's always in and out of the team. So either it's Ahmad that's injured, because then right wing back is not going to look anywhere near the same as what it's looked like for quite a while. It's an Mbumo injury, or it's a Bruno injury. It could be none, and it could just be a bunch of mind games, or it could be a Casemiro injury as well. So I reckon it's one of those 4, or it's like De Ligt or Le Mans. Those are the only 6 players where the team would have to play any different. So, you know, part of me is like going, Bruno needs an all-timer performance. Otherwise, just take the night off and phone it in, mate, because Phil Foden's waiting to step up in your absence. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I actually think they'll be both fine, and they'll probably smoke West Ham comfortably. Who's the best asset to buy in Game Week 15? You don't even have to think about this. It's Phil Foden, 100%. If you haven't got him, go and buy him. So, I'm really covering this again, just for the people that didn't watch yesterday's video. You have to use all your transfers this week. AFCON transfers are coming in Game Week 16. If you roll any transfer, either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will not get the benefit of all those extra 5 that you'll get. So you can't afford to roll any this week. If you've got one transfer like I do, or I did, and I've already used mine on Bart Simpson, Bruggen, in for Pope, then you need to either free hit wildcard, because they technically cost a transfer, right, when you play them ones. So if you've only got one transfer and your wildcard or your free hit, that's fine. That's essentially using up your transfer anyway, and you'll still get the benefit of having full 5 free transfers in Game Week 16. That's all you need to know. Just use up all your transfers. Otherwise, if your team looks amazing, who cares? Don't make the transfers. And sometimes, some people might find that's actually the case. So, defensive transfers. These are the ones that are being bought in the most. And it's no surprise that Munoz is still at the top. This dude is almost essential at this point. 6 million. He's about to rise to 6.1 tonight. So, get on early, folks. Julian Timber, he's also looking really good. He's had his rest, so that means he's going to probably, in fact, he's 100% going to start away against Aston Villa. You can put your money on that, folks. He's not going to be having another benching. And I think that, you know, if you want an Arsenal defender and there's no Gabriel still, Timber's the man. Then we got Chalobah, 5.2 million. I'm not so sure anymore. I'm like, part of me really wanted him, and I talked about it yesterday, but when I watched Chelsea like last night, if they play like that away from home and Maresca puts out stupid lineups like that, I don't know if I want any Chelsea defenders at all or any of their assets because the fixtures aren't as nice anymore. Bournemouth away, in theory, I actually think is quite a nice fixture, but I can't get on board with it anymore after what I saw there. Jow, obviously I bought him in game week 14, so I think he's a great move. Burnley at home, I mean, Burnley just don't look like scoring many goals, so that seems like a bit of a no-brainer, and he should be really good, and I feel like he could get an attacking return there as well with his goal threat. Mark Gahey and Lacroix, I mean, these guys are just racking up the points. It makes sense to just double up on Crystal Palace defence. There's so many points to be had there, and regardless of the fact that they're getting tired or whatever, they're defending. Like they might not be scoring as many goals, but they're still defending really, really well. So for that reason, there's no reason to dodge off their defence until they either get injured or they start conceding goals. Then Tarkowski, I don't mind that one as well. Everton's fixtures do get a little bit easier around the game week 19 area, so not bad. Then it's not a surprise to see 6 of the 7 blokes down the bottom being sold en masse. So Gabriel obviously still had injured. Some people were just late to the party and hoping he comes back by some miracle. It's time to wake up to yourselves, folks. He ain't coming back. Well, he will be, but not at the moment, and you've just got to get rid of him. He's just going to continuously drop in price. Just sell him. Saliba, obviously, I don't know about what's going on there. Arteta's very not forthcoming with updates, so who knows how long he's going to be out for. Van de Ven and Pedro Porro, Spurs just concede goals, man. They just concede goals. They just concede goals. Senesi, it makes sense to get rid of him as well. I'm sorry for the fact that people from work are just spamming on the thing, and I thought I turned it off, but I haven't. And I can't do a single take video. I'm just going to have to roll with it. Virgil, the aura's gone. The aura's gone. I said 3 weeks ago he was a horrible buy when Gabriel went down, and he's proved to be nothing else other than a horrible buy. I know he did keep one clean sheet and he's got one lot of DC, but in reality, he's just been woeful, and I don't think you want him. And then Kukurea, I mean, maybe this is just people's frustration with the fact that Chelsea will bang average against Leeds, but I know he's one of the more regular ones that start, so I wouldn't be too concerned about his minutes, but you just can't trust Maresca. Maresca roulette, and his decision-making just leaves a lot to be desired. So on the midfield transfers, and it's no surprise that the D-Unit's boy is starting to take off. The cartel are starting to realise that the D-Unit's got one up on him, and Phil Foden has had liftoff. 32 points in the last 2 weeks. He's going to be the most brought-in player, which means he's 100% blanking against Sunderland, probably starting on the bench. And we're going to bench him. No, I'm not. I think he's going to be great. He's one of them players, when he's hot, he's hot. And at the moment, he's exceptionally hot. He's like touch hot. Bruno Guimaraes, not a surprise there. Nice fixture against Burnley. He's had a rest as well with 45 minutes on the bench against Spurs. I could see a big haul incoming for him as well. Then Marino. I mean, this one doesn't make a lot of sense, folks. Marino in. I know that he got a big score last night, but Gyökeres is available. Havertz isn't far behind. I don't know what I think about it. Yes, I know he's cheap, but I tell you what, as soon as Gyökeres gets back in that team, Marino's straight back out of it, and it's going to be another transfer out. Doku, I think he gets rotated on the weekend. I've said it. There you go. I think Doku's the one that will get rotated on the weekend. I reckon he could be due a rest. That's all I'll say on that. If any of them, I'd be just buying Foden and just rolling with that. Rice, he's an injury watch. He did go off, obviously, towards the end of that Brentford game. Hopefully he'll be fine. He's normally a pretty fit and available player, but he is one to monitor, and he has played a lot of minutes, so there's a chance that maybe he might get a little bit of a rest against Aston Villa. It's not the easiest fixture, or maybe he gets the rest in the Champions League because it's an easier game. I'm not sure. Minte looks like a great buy. West Ham at home. Great fixture to bring him in for. He should be great. Eze, I don't know why people are buying him. He's also the 6th most sold midfielder, so that's all you need to know there. It's just, why are you buying him? Like, I know he got 20 points a couple of game weeks ago. He's going to be a victim. His minutes are definitely going to go down with all those extra players that are back for Arsenal. I don't know if that's a good move. Semenyo, not a surprise that so many people, I mean, his price is plummeting, so it makes sense to get rid. Unless you are hoping he returns And yes, he's not got Bournemouth at home. It's Chelsea at home. I've just realised I've made that mistake there. It's Caicedo's got Bournemouth away. But he's going to be no good. He's out for the next 2 games, so he's still got 2 more games to serve on his suspension. He won't be back until game week 17. Sarr, it would have been great for this run of fixtures to have him, but he's been injured and he needs to just be sold at this point. Lots of people have already sold him. And Bumo, if he's out today and he's one of the injured players, 100% he's a sell. But if he's playing tonight and then he's got Wolves away, I don't know why you sell him. He's going to return. He's going to return. He's got literally 2 of the 3 easiest fixtures in the league the next 2 game weeks. So this week, he's obviously got West Ham at home. Then he's got Wolves away before he goes away. So I don't understand why people are moving him out. He's going to 100% haul some points if he's fit. Mo Salah, I mean, why have people still got him? Surely last night was the final straw and you used your free transfers to get him out of your team. Eze, I just talked about that. And Cherky, I mean, put money on it. Cherky starts on the weekend. Put money on it. Cherky will start for Pep Roulette on the weekend, and all those people selling him probably going to be regretting it when he returns against Sunderland. You heard it here first. So one of the most transferred in forwards and out now, and it's no surprise that Thiago's leading the way. He's obviously got a bit of a rest. He should be fine against Tottenham away, and Spurs away is not a difficult fixture. We've seen already they've been woeful at home. There's every chance that Thiago goes big there and actually gets you a decent haul. Voltamata with Burnley at home seems a bit of a no-brainer to move to bring in as well. I really like that fixture. I've just realised I didn't bother to fix up the top part of Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck actually has West Ham at home. And I'm going to talk about Welbeck and Mateta in the same breath here before we go back to Haaland. But Mateta and Welbeck, I've obviously got Mateta in my own team. I'm probably going to move Mateta to Welbeck. I wish I could do it this week if I had extra transfers, but I don't. But I'm probably going to make that move in game week 16, like straight off the gate. Like I'll probably make that move because it just makes so much sense. Mateta looks like a spent force. He's going to be getting less and less minutes. He's going to probably get less and less returns because Palace are just going to get more and more tired. Welbeck, on the other hand, is not playing in Europe. He's only going to be going back to 1 game a week after this weekend. I just fancy him. I think he's going to be really good. And West Ham at home is a great starting point. I know Fulham away is a pretty good fixture as well. It's just I think the Palace defence is where you want to go, not Mateta. Yeah, I just think I think the Welbeck should. I'm surprised that so many people are transferring him out because I actually think he's one of the best forwards to buy this week. I'm legit shocked that he's the 4th most transferred out forward, but it is what it is. In terms of Mateta, not a surprise he's the 2nd most transferred out. I'm looking at it myself. Then Haaland. How's Haaland still the 3rd most bought in forward? How's he still the 3rd most bought in forward? I don't know. I thought most of the game already owned him, but apparently not because lots of people still don't. So he's being brought back and he's about to rise to 15 mil. It's crazy his rise considering he started at 14. Then we got Mark Gui. This is a horrible transfer. I cannot say anything good about it whatsoever. There's going to be lots of people this week that are going to be getting Mark Gui's 1 point off the bench. Now, I can guarantee you over Christmas, over New Year, the same thing will happen again. You'll be relying on Mark Gui to deliver you something other than 1 point. In reality, he's probably going to get you 0. So if you're fine with that, and rolling with that and knowing what we saw with rotation mid-game week, by all means, lock yourselves in, strap yourselves in. But when he gets 0 points off your bench for you and you need him, I'll point you back to this point. João Pedro, 7th most bought in, 1st most sold. I just think he's a sell at this point. I mean, Welbeck and Thiago are getting the business done, and Voltamata even is doing a better job than João Pedro. He just goes missing in games, and that's not what you want. Ekitike, unlucky. I think Isak's just going to keep playing, and I don't think Ekitike is going to be getting the starts, if I'm being honest. The Pigeon, I mean, it's been nice. It's been fun, but it's time to go. Gyökeres, why do people still have him? 8.8 million, waste of money. And then Krupa Jr., why are people selling Krupa Jr.? At least he's actually getting minutes a lot more comfortably than Mark Gui. If 0.4 million is that much of an issue, Or maybe you're correcting your mistake and getting Creepy Jr. up to a Thiago or a Welbeck. If that's the case, I don't mind the transfer at all. But if you're just going down like a Mark Gui to save a little bit more money, it's a silly move. So Brighton, I think that they are a team to target. They've obviously got 3 really amazing fixtures over the next 6. So West Ham United at home. Arguably, you could say Liverpool away is a good fixture as well, based on what we've seen from Liverpool over recent times. Then they've got 2 trickier fixtures in 17 and 18, with Sunderland at home and Arsenal away. That will be much harder for them. But then they've got West Ham away and Burnley at home at 19 and 20. So I think that these 4 players are the ones you should be targeting. Van Heck has actually now got 3 goals for the season, which I think, last time I checked, puts him up there with Chalobah and Munoz as the best scoring defenders so far this season for the first 14 game weeks. Then we got Danny Welbeck, 10 starts, 7 goals, and he's obviously been rested midweek. He came off the bench late on, but I think he'll be fine for the weekend, and I would imagine he'll go back to scoring ways against a West Ham team who are probably going to be rubbish. Then we got my mate, Bart Simpson. So that's Bart for Bruggen, obviously, but Bart Simpson, he's obviously coming in to my team. I've made that transfer. It's Pope out, Bart Simpson in. I know he's not been good for clean sheets, and he's actually got 3, and I've really cocked up some of these ones today. But Bart Simpson's got 3 clean sheets. I think potentially he can do the business on 3 of the next 6 game weeks, and that's why I'm buying him. And hoping that Petrovic can rotate, and Petrovic does rotate half decently with him. So that's the idea behind it. Let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work out well, I'm going to move probably Petrovic anyway to probably Henderson in game week 16 or 17. So it's not really going to make much neither here nor there. Then we got Minte. For me, it's working out like, for me, it's Minte and Welbeck are a clear double up attack you should probably look at investing in. Then I reckon it's one of Bart Simpson and Van Heck. Now, Van Heck's only 4.4 million. He's had DC 5 different times and he's scored 3 goals. So he's going at 4.3 points per game, which is pretty damn good for a bloke that only costs you 4.4 mil. He might actually, he is better than Joachim Anderson. Why? Because Van Heck actually scores goals and he's getting DC and he's getting the clean sheets. That's a lot better output than what Joachim Anderson is in. And he costs 0.1 million less. And he's owned by less people as well. Lots of stuff to love. But anyways, I think the Brighton really are a team to target with their fixtures coming up, particularly from an attacking sense. I think they're going to be great. The only week where I'd be like, I don't want to play him is game week 18. Every other game week, I'd have no issue playing Danny Welbeck and Minte. I think they're both going to be great. And I think Brighton assets in general are going to be really good moving forward. So how did the game week 14 best 1 week punts go? Well, my boy Milenkovic got the memo. He kept the clean sheet and he got 6 points. So that's good. That's all you want from a defender. You want the clean sheet as the baseline, and he got the job done. My boy Phil Foden, no surprise there, carrying the 1 week punts. I can't pick him again because he's now over 11% owned. Probably going to be about 15 by the time tomorrow rolls around after the United game. But 17 points, he's huge. He's on track to become 8.3 million as well. Cole Palmer, got that one wrong. I actually thought he was going to start against Leeds. He really should have scored in the second half when he did come on, but he put it wide. Not ideal, but that was unfortunate. That one really was a bit punty. And so was Isaac, to be honest, because I didn't think they'd do much against Sunderland. Isaac barely touched it against Sunderland. Yeah, I think he struggles with 3 games in a week. So I think that I know that the Pubcast boys keep on picking him for differentials under 5%, but I'm telling you, I don't think he's worth even being owned by 5% of the comp. So one of my best 1 week punts for game week 15, and this is where we've gone. So we're going to start with Malik Jow. Malik Jow in defence. He seems to be nailed in there, along with probably Dan Burn on the weekend. I think they've got a few injuries of Botman and the like. So I think he's going to be fine. He's half decent normally for DC, even though he wasn't against Spurs the other night. But that's because of the way that Spurs played, and it kept on going down the side by Dan Burn, and that was, I think, contributed to that. But the fixtures are really good as well moving forward. Burnley at home, Burnley away in 15 and 19. I mean, the other fixtures aren't overly fabulous, to be honest, but I was only really intending on playing him 14, 15, 19, so I think 15, I'm backing him in. I'm also backing in Bruno G, and I think he'll actually be good across this entire lot of fixtures because I think at home he's going in an exceptional click at home. He's up to 4 goals and 4 assists now in the season. So that's 8 attacking returns from 12 starts, ironically. It's not 14 starts. Got a bit carried away there. He's been benched. Well, he's missed one game and he's been benched in one other. So he's going to be really good there. And I just think, I know that the underlying numbers aren't that good, but Bruno Guimaraes just looks like he's going to score. Like, you never looked in doubt when he got the ball that it was going to go into the net. Then I've gone with Matheus Cunha. Now, I'm mainly going for the storyline. Wolves away. He's going back to the place that sold him. They always score. I mean, Mbumo didn't against Brentford, but I think that Matheus Cunha may well just get the business done here, and I think he's going to be great. So he's meant to be back from injury. Amarin said that he was, back and available, so we've got to take him on his word. I expect him to start tonight against West Ham. Hopefully he can get some form tonight, and then that will look really good as a one-week punt on the weekend. And then I'm going with the DCL unit. When you're coming up against Liverpool at home, fresh off the back of scoring twice against Man City, and he scored 1, and then scoring against Chelsea in a 3-1 win. They've played arguably 2 of the top 3 teams in the league and done actually well, and he scored against both of them. And now he's got one of the easiest defences at the moment to score against coming to Ellen Road. Why would you not book Dominic Calvert-Lewin in for a one-week punt? The man is in form. Back-to-back games of goals. I'm reckoning he's going to make it a hat-trick this weekend. Not a hat-trick of goals, but he's going to make it a hat-trick of returns. And considering his ownership, 0.8% ownership, I'm telling you, play him this weekend, folks. Liverpool, unbelievably, are rubbish. So lastly, if somehow Mbumo or Bruno Fernandes or whatever are injured tonight and they're going to miss on the weekend against Wolves, I will be free hitting. Now, I know that I've included them in here because I think realistically, if you are free hitting, this is where I would be going. I'd be going with Bart Simpson in goal. West Ham United at home seems like a fairly good chance to actually keep a clean sheet. You could go triple Newcastle defence as well. They've got Burnley at home. I know Dan Burn says West Ham, but it's actually Burnley. Because originally I was going to put an extra Brighton defender in. That's why I was doing that. So obviously we've got Jow, Burn, Verbruggen and Van Heck all playing 2 of the 3 easiest teams at home. You're banking on them and stacking in order to try and get a clean sheet. I just think they're going to keep a clean sheet. Then obviously I've gone Man United triple up attack because Wolves away should equal goals based off what I've seen. They're a team that's going to the championship. It's just a matter of how quickly they get there, really. But Bruno Fernandes and Mbumo and Cunha, I'm predicting that all 3 are actually fit and they will all start tonight against West Ham. And if they do, they're great picks for that Wolves game away on the week or on Monday Night Football. They should be great. They actually should be great. Then I've gone with Danny Welbeck at home against West Ham. I think he will also be really good. I've made him the vice captain. I've just gone really spicy here. And then we've got Haaland and Foden, the double up Man City attack. Phil Foden is the captain. Why? Because I should have done it the last 2 weeks for the tune of an extra 32 points. I didn't. But he's a man that I reckon will step up to the plate on a free hit draft for you. And I would have no qualms captaining him again against Sunderland because I think that Phil Foden will score again against Sunderland. Then obviously on the bench, I mean, there's quite a lot of money left in the bank here, 1.1. I went with Dubravka because who cares about that second goalkeeper spot. Thiago, Munoz, Mukiele. Now, Thiago, you can make a case would probably be starting, but who do you bench? And then Munoz, ditto. I just think that there's more chance of Fulham scoring a goal, which is why I've gone away from Arsenal defence and Crystal Palace defence because they're both playing away and they're both playing against Aston Villa and Fulham. Yes, they're probably 2 of the better teams in terms of percentage chance of keeping a clean sheet. I just don't think that they will, which is why I've doubled up on Newcastle defence and Brighton defence because I've got West Ham at home and Burnley at home. I did look at Man United defence stacking, but I just have no faith in our ability to keep a clean sheet. We will find a way to give Wolves a goal in that game. 100% Wolves will score against Man United. I'd be legitimately shocked if we actually kept the clean sheet. So yeah, that's what I potentially could end up doing, something like this, if Bruno or Mbeumo are injured or both are injured. Now, if they're both injured, obviously, who would I go to then? I would probably change the defence, and I'd probably bring in an extra Crystal Palace defender, and I'd probably go for a double Newcastle attack. So that's probably where I would go, and I'd look to probably bring in Minte against, I don't know, I'd have to do a lot of changing, but I'm basing this off the fact that I think Bruno will be fine and Mbeumo will be fine, and they'll play tonight, and they'll go and thump West Ham, and then they'll go and thump Wolves, and then Mbeumo can leave for AFCON. That's what I reckon is going to happen. So that brings me to the end of my transfer tips and my free hit draft for everyone's perusal this game week in Game Week 15. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you did, please smash a like on the video. Leave us a comment with how many transfers you've got and who you're making and how the game weeks actually turned out for you and what you're hoping for tonight. Are you hoping for a Bruno Fernandes no-show or at least a 10-pointer in order to match the points you might not be getting if you had someone else like Phil Foden coming in as captain? Obviously, the ideal scenario is Bruno Fernandes goes out there and drops a generational banger and gets like a hat-trick and 20 points, and then all of a sudden it looks absolutely genius. But we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Join me for the watch-along. It'll be up there. You should be seeing it scheduled. If you enjoyed that as well, smash a sub. I'll see you tomorrow for my team selection. The late mail, FYI, will be an early mail on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. UK time, just in time for your breakfast. That'll be the D-Unit bringing you the late mail as the early mail this game week.